You guys, I have a good story tonight that happened to me that I just remembered.
Okay.
Did you block it out or something? How'd you forget?
I mean,
It was so traumatic.
okay. Well, I'll give you a preface. It's one of those like, oh my gosh. And then at the end, you're like, oh. One of those.
Okay.
But it's good enough to share.
So like a
classic
typical
Kiara
story. Hey, it's Casey.
I'm Meredith.
And this is Kiara.
And we're 3 best friends in a long-distance relationship.
We've learned some valuable lessons along the way over the last 10 years of being friends.
Now let's get to it because... I'm on the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never leave.
What do you think that sounded like, though, for our audience? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
We'll find out, I guess.
Well, on that note, happy November, you guys.
Happy
It is
November.
November 1st.
Wow, that's crazy.
Happy November to our listeners. Officially, it's been July, August, September, 4 months since we launched.
Oh my
this.
gosh.
I had to
My
count.
word.
4 months
Yeah, that's
since we
wild.
launched this
However,
podcast.
this has been like a baby child in our brains for a long
years.
time.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
for years and years. But if you are tuning in, welcome to the It's Been Forever podcast. If you are not new here, you know how this goes. But I am Kiara.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Meredith.
And we're just so happy that you're tuning in. It is November. Happy November. I am biased, but it is my favorite month of the year. But
Because of the election. We love election day.
Yes. Oh, I love November 8th because it just reminds me how patriotic I
Yes.
truly am.
It reminds me of the rights that I have in this country as a woman. Is
That was a bald eagle.
I literally was going through my mind. I'm like, what animal is that?
I was like, is she having a seizure?
Are we okay on the podcast right now?
We got Moira Rose here.
Oh my gosh, I need to rewatch that show. Schitt's Creek is just it's too good.
That's more of a crow.
crows
I
have
felt
eyes.
more eagle-ish.
Sure.
I felt like what I did was
Have
pretty
you heard an eagle? I've never heard an eagle sound.
I don't actually
What do you mean
know if
you've
it
never
has
heard
sound.
an eagle?
I've never heard an eagle. I don't know if that's the sound an eagle makes.
I'm gonna say that it does have that sound just because that sound is gold.
Okay, well, here. Everyone hang tight.
Okay. Casey's gonna quick do a Google search on what bald eagles sound like.
Wow, it popped
Also,
right up. Bald
the bird
eagle
of
sound.
our nation. Well, your guys' nation, not my nation.
Because you're half Canadian.
'cause I'm
That's the
Canadian.
lamest thing I've
Shush.
ever heard.
Shush.
What sound does a maple leaf make?
We're gonna look that up next. So I can't hear anything.
Well, because it's not doing it yet. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
That's so pitiful. Is that a baby?
Okay, that sounds like a seal.
That is a full-blown...
That sounds like
And
a
that's
seal.
supposed to intimidate Russia?
I know! I'm going with my sound.
I like
My
your
sounds
sound
better.
I like your sound better. Oh gosh, if that just doesn't introduce who we are, then I don't know what does. So if you're new here, us 3, we are best friends. We're living all across the country. We have Oregon, Iowa, and North Carolina represented. And today's going to be a special episode because we're going to talk about spooky stories because this is coming out right after Halloween.
So we know you're probably experiencing some post-Halloween blues, right? As we all do after a
immediately
season or after a holiday. So we're here to keep the vibes up for at least one more day.
Maybe
love that.
listen to this while you're putting up your Christmas tree if you're one of those people.
If you're one of those people. Okay,
Wait,
Kira's
who?
obviously
Okay,
a
wait.
huge
Actually,
hater.
this is a good poll. What time of year do you guys put your Christmas tree up? Is it right after Halloween? When is it? I want to
Sure.
know.
I'll do mid-November.
Okay.
I'm a super huge mid-November person. I will start doing Christmassy things, but I won't put my tree up until like the day after Thanksgiving.
But I'm not a hater of people who do. Like,
I
if you
used
want
be.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like if you're listening to Christmas music, I think that's great. Like, you do what you want. I probably
Yeah.
will wait, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably, it'll start getting sprinkled in here soon. Like I watched the Nightmare Before Christmas.
I
Oh,
love
yes,
that
talking about
movie.
I
that.
love that movie. And as I'm watching it, Bryce is like, so is this like a Christmas movie or like a Halloween
That's
movie?
the
I said,
question.
that's the beautiful
it-
thing about it.
It's
Yeah.
both.
Yes. And so I don't feel bad about watching that now. And I won't feel bad about watching it later. And it also gets me excited for Christmas. That's coming up when you watch it now. So anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Unfortunately, just because my birthday falls right in the midst of it all, I don't feel like the holiday
election.
starts. And the election, lest we
Kiara's
not forget.
birthday is October 8th, which always falls on.
November 8th.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I meant that. I meant that. I'm sorry. It was on November 8th, which is election day.
And we always like to make election,
Election
day
Day.
Memories
huge
of, like,
deal.
2016, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, half for her birthday, half to watch the election.
I mean, do you want me to tell you a memory that I have? Is like
Yeah.
being like, oh yay, I'm 21. Like, okay, I can go to like Buffalo Wild Wings, maybe buy a beer.
Wow,
We go-
crazy.
Great, I know, because literally, what else are you gonna do in
Yeah.
Northwest Iowa? But we go, and all of us glued to the TV because it was the Trump versus Clinton election.
Yeah.
So naturally,
Yeah.
everyone wanted, which I give everyone props. It is like that was the craziest election.
It was a
It,
little
like,
bit more
my
crazy
life.
than
but it's
your
also,
birthday.
I do feel bad about that because I was definitely more into the election than your
Yeah.
birthday. I'm sorry.
Well,
I had a volleyball
Yeah.
game, but I don't think I saw you all day.
No,
Oh.
I mean, I do remember going
Sorry.
to bed a little sad because I was like, oh, okay.
No,
I mean, just a little bit.
Super valid.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I was
super
like,
valid.
oh,
I would feel the same.
I just didn't feel like,
You didn't feel celebrated, especially
Yeah, I just didn't feel
Kiara
celebrated.
celebrates everyone else so well
Super
that
hard.
you deserve to be celebrated like
Definitely.
tenfold.
So you know what, Kira? Next week you're getting the
Uh-huh.
celebration of a lifetime.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
are.
well, you
'Cause
know how I'm
That it's
celebrating.
released on your birthday too.
This
Yeah,
is
it
true.
is.
So,
Next
What are
week's
you? What are you
episode,
doing?
taking the freaking day off. That's what I'm
Good.
doing.
Wow, good for you.
So
Good for you.
doing nothing but going to the spa.
oh,
And
You
that's
always
what
do
I-
this. Is this year
I
3
do.
of you doing it now?
25, 26. Yeah, it is. So I've been doing it
Aw.
ever since I turned 25. I've been taking the day off and going to this like spa that's literally right around the corner from my house. And I'm doing that again this year.
Good for
and I
you.
think what I didn't know though too when I was 21, 22, 23, I was just like it was more of a selfish like love me, do things for me, but like I wasn't also doing anything for myself. So now I've kind of learned like okay, if I want to do something, I can kind of have the bandwidth and I can like make my day how I want it. Whereas like maybe before I was like, I don't know, but then I just had
Yeah.
nothing planned. And I don't think that's like any friend's fault. I think like I just didn't really like know what I wanted my day, especially because yes, it did fall around election day. It is like pre-holiday, but like now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shut out the world. I'm going to do a thing for me. And then I'm going to feel reset. And especially as an extrovert, not introvert, lol, extrovert, I do feel like it actually kind of helps me have the day to myself to kind of like recenter my beginning of the next year. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm excited.
I like
so
it.
yeah,
Okay. Well,
that's just a little forefront. But before that, yeah, we have some scary stories that all of us have to share with you guys. So if you are a Halloween girly, like we shared last episode, this is your season. This is your era.
This is for you. This
Yeah.
is for you.
This is your time. So maybe Meredith is gonna start mine. I have one that's kind of fun, but I think it's a good one to end on. So we're gonna go Meredith, and then Casey's gonna chat about a story, and we're just gonna talk about it, and it's gonna be fun. It's not gonna be like
Word.
crazy scary. You're not gonna have nightmares, but it'll be fun to talk about.
yes. This story is like my brain wants to explain it, but there's some things in it that it can't explain.
I'm so interested.
So I have a really good friend. We used to teach together. And her husband recently moved into a house in the country. So like it's on a gravel road. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. which was like their dream. Like they have 2 big German Shepherd dogs. They have a little girl. She's 1.5. Like they have this big like acreage basically for like the dogs to run around on, for their daughter to grow up on, and their future kids to grow up on. It has like a big like farm silo-y type of thing on it. It's really, really good property. Or really cute property. I like went to see it. But she sent me this after we put on the prompt on our story. She was like, "Oh, I have something to tell you." She said, "I was going to tell you this next time I saw you, but I'll just tell you now." She sent me a little voice memo of it. So the day they moved in, her husband is a sheriff in our area. And the day she moved in, one of his coworkers was like, "Oh, you know, someone was shot there, right?"
Yikes.
Stop.
And they were like, "Oh, nope, that information was not given to us. We did not know that."
How long ago?
I don't know. And it was like not the previous owners.
Okay, so it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. It's like an older property, yeah. So a while ago, I'd imagine. So the like first night they moved in, okay, Bailey is her name. She was staying up late to paint because it was just like an older house that like the style wasn't very cute. So she basically was painting everything white, like redoing some of the like woodworking in it, stuff like that. So she was staying up late. Their daughter was in bed. Her husband was out, like he was working. And she said it was like midnight before she finally decided to be finished. And she went to take a bath. And this, I should say too, the shooting allegedly happened at the top of the staircase. Their bathroom is right off of there. And so she was in the bathroom, in the bathtub, taking a bath. She said she had just put the dogs away. Like she said about 100 meters away outside. Like there's like this little shed and there's like a kennel. So she put her 2 German Shepherds in there outside, like locked the house, deadbolted it. And she's in the bathtub and she sees this dark figure go across the doorway of the bathroom, like in the hallway.
No.
And she's like, what the heck? Like, I know that man was shot there allegedly. Like, is that a ghost?
I love how you keep saying allegedly. Like,
well, that's what she
like, we're in like a true.
I know.
Criminal
she kept saying that too.
Case.
She kept saying that too. She was like, allegedly they were shot there, but we like don't know that for sure. It just is like lore, kind of. Okay, so we're at the top of the staircase. Allegedly, this man was shot
allegedly.
there. So she sees this dark figure go across the door, and she was like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm seeing things. It's fine. Sees it again. She gets up out of the tub, goes into the hallway.
Yep.
It's her dog. It's one of her dogs. It's one of her black German Shepherds in the hallway. She said she walked downstairs. The front door is wide open. It was dead bolted. It was locked, deadbolt. The front door is open. Goes to the dog kennel. The kennel door is still locked.
So how that dog get out?
How the heck? She said this is like brain trying to explain it. She said it has 2 latches. It has one on the top and one on the bottom. The one on the bottom was undone. So she's like, okay, maybe she wormed her way out, but that's not a big enough space for her to really be able to do that.
German Shepherd's a big dog. Like
a big dog. And then how does the dog unlock the freaking door?
Yeah.
Right? So then anyways,
I don't like that.
One of her husband's coworkers, who is a sheriff, came and like searched the house to make sure there was like no one there, and there was nobody there. And she said, we have since changed the locks.
Okay.
Like, and she said too, she's like, there's no way for them to know for sure where that man was like actually shot. If it was there at the top of the stairs, like it's reported, or if it was outside, or if it was even on the property. She said, I guess we'll find out when we pull up the carpet and see if the wood flooring at the top of the stairs is different than the rest of the house. So we'll see.
We might need an update on that one then.
So when are there plans to rip up the carpet?
I don't know. I would think soon. They're like pretty like overhauling this house. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Nope. I told her, I said, you have to move. Like, move back into town. I don't think I could live there.
Whew. Us.
So that's my story.
That's
I don't like that. I
really
think
that
I would
fun.
also move or burn down the house and start over. Just depends. Don't love that.
No.
I always just feel so sad for people. Like, let's say, I mean, luckily she's had one situation, right? But the people who have like multiple encounters and they've like bought a home and they're like financially invested in that property, like
Yeah.
that always makes me so
Like
sad.
The
for people.
Watcher. Did you guys watch that movie? Or that
The
series that was on
Watcher.
Netflix, The Watcher?
No,
It was like
I remember seeing about
this
it, but I
couple
never
bought a
watched
house
didn't see
and
it.
they kept getting letters in the mail of like, I have been watching every family that lives in this house for the last however many years. And
Oh, I remember. I
like stuff
saw
like that.
show advertised.
Creepy. It
Yeah.
was very creepy.
Yeah, and it's like you financially ruin yourself by leaving the house, but also at the same time you want to do nothing
can't
but leave
stay.
the house. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I got a submission from one of my friends, Alex. Alex is a huge Halloween girly, so this is like so up her alley. So actually when she messaged me and she was like, "Oh, I got a good one," I was like, "Yes." Why did I want you to respond? Because she just loves Halloween and all that stuff. So she typed it out for me, so I'm gonna read it. And
Great, I'm ready.
here we go. Okay, so she prefaces with, have you guys ever heard of the urban legend of shadow people?
No, but I don't like it.
Shadow people.
Shadow people. So this
No.
is where the story is. She just says this is one of those stories. So
Okay.
if you feel so inclined, feel free to look up what a shadow person is before we
Nah.
listen to this. Or
Nah.
if
I'm
you want to,
gonna do it. Mare's not.
No,
but
I'm okay.
I am.
I'm scared.
I want to say it's like a shift shaper. Wait, what is it?
Shifter?
Shape shifter.
A shift shaper. A shift.
word.
A shape shifter.
They form
Yes,
their own
shape-
shifts at work. They decide when they want to work. They make their own hours.
It's like being your own boss.
Oh, I'm crying. Shape shifter.
A shift shaper is making your own schedule. Okay, I like
Shush,
that. I want
shut
to be
up.
that.
But this is a what?
This is a story about a shadow person.
Okay.
Did you look it up?
I mean, I'm Googling it right now, but please.
I want to see what your face
continue.
looks like.
Oh, okay. I typed in shadow person. I'm gonna say images. Disgusting.
Perfect.
I
Are you
hate
scared?
hate it all.
Okay. great.
Okay. Now
I'm
I
glad
have
I
a
did
visual.
I wanted to set the scene for you.
I'm unfortunately, yeah, this is worse. Don't.
Well,
look
don't
it
worry,
up.
Mary. I'll describe what it's like.
Is it kind of like
Okay.
the drawings of like on
Why don't
Bird
you just
Box?
listen? Why don't
Like
you
the
just
draw-
listen?
Okay.
Again,
okay.
didn't watch Bird Box.
Well, I
Haven't
know,
seen
but
it.
Kiera did.
I did. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, so Alex was a junior in high school, and one night she was home alone, and she was getting ready for bed in the master bedroom that she shared with her sister. Both of their beds were facing the door, and they were positioned the same, but at opposite ends of the room. So just for context, when she sat up in bed, she'd be facing the bedroom door, and if her sister sat up in bed, she'd be facing a long, ugly desk on the same wall the bedroom door was on. Okay, so that's the scene. As she's falling asleep in her bed, her eyes suddenly shoot open. And she basically woke up in absolute terror. Okay? But she can't move. Like, she is trying to move her entire body
Like
with
sleep
everything.
paralysis.
Yes, everything in her, and she can't move. Okay? The only thing that she's able to move is her eyes.
No.
Okay? So she looks around her bedroom, at the ceiling, at the walls, and her eyes are darting all over the place. And then she looks over at the only light in the room that was illuminating in the very corner by the desk. You remember that ugly desk?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the light that's illuminating is a little decorative willow tree. It's like shaped like a willow tree with like little twinkle lights on it. Okay? That's what it typically is, all right? However, She couldn't see the detail of the twinkle lights very clearly. Instead, what she saw was a dark, human-like figure sitting on the desk with a dim light illuminating all around the outline of the body.
What?
As if it was sitting in front of the decoration. Okay?
Facing her or like facing the desk?
Keep listening.
Okay. I'm sorry.
The figure was completely black, dark, no details, no features. Just a really big silhouette. Okay? Its hands were at its side as if it sat and leaned forward towards me as if it was looking at me intently. But again, there's no details. Okay? But she can just sense that this big black silhouette figure is leaning forward, staring at her. So after this, naturally, what does she do? She shuts her eyes as tightly as she can, and she's just praying that it's going to go away. Okay? She puts in all caps. But then,
I'm so scared.
okay,
I don't like this.
she opened her eyes, and the figure was sitting directly on her chest.
What?
With its face directly in front of hers, staring at her.
No.
Her chest felt so tight, and in the moment, she said it was absolutely insane, and it felt like her chest was full of water.
Oh my gosh.
She closed her eyes, and then when she opened her eyes, it was gone. She couldn't move for still like a couple more minutes. Like she was completely frozen. So the entire experience, basically, she said she was paralyzed.
Well, I'm never sleeping again.
I know. That's when you guys said, this isn't going to be scary. I was like,
I hate that.
What?
I hate that.
So I responded and I was like, okay, so has anything happened to you since? Like,
Right.
what's become of this? She said, no, nothing's happened. So this was a one-off thing. Then she responded and said, but there was one time when I was 7 and I saw my grandma in the living room. But she died the year before.
Okay. So nothing major.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
Okay.
Wow, that's wild.
I know.
That's like
That's
your fear when
crazy,
you're
dude.
home alone, you know?
100%.
That's
100%.
wild.
That's why
Or-
when you turn the lights off, you run up the stairs. Like
Yes,
that is
that is
exact
why.
moment.
Or you try to
Oh
tell
my
yourself that's
gosh.
not real. That's not real. Like you try to like psych yourself
So,
out of it almost.
Is that shadow people? That's a thing that like happens. Like people
Oh, yeah.
have seen that. Actually,
Oh yeah.
that reminds me of another story. Can I tell another one?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Please.
so but this friend that we all know, it was like out of college. He was living in a basement apartment by himself. And he had the same thing. It was like he was asleep and then he woke up and had sleep paralysis. He could not move anything.
Yeah.
But he looked in the corner of this room and there was a figure there pointing at him like this.
Nah.
Yes.
No!
And he couldn't move and it kept moving closer and closer to him.
Nah.
Stop.
Until he closed his eyes and then it went away. But like, how do you ever sleep again after something like that happens to you? That's
I don't know.
insane.
Well, you just get super tired and you just pray that you fall asleep and don't wake up. That's really all you
Oh,
can
I
do.
hate that.
Woo.
I hate that.
So if that's ever happened to you, we are so sorry. And
So sorry.
We hope that you're okay. And if you ever need anything, just like let us know because that's really tough. And if you're someone who suffers from sleep paralysis, like that's so hard. Like that's no joke. Bryce and I have watched like a couple documentaries on sleep paralysis and it's such a freaky thing. And I know it's so wild and I always feel bad because this is just like a nightly or a weekly occurrence for people. And that's just so, even if nothing happens, but you wake up and you can't move. That's so scary in and of itself. But then to have
terrifying.
an encounter on top of that, like you can't defend yourself. That's horrible.
Even like in my brain thinks like Like the name of Jesus is powerful. Like
Totally.
when I go to sleep and like Noah's like out late because he works at the event center, so he like bartends. So I'm like going to sleep and he's not there. I like fall asleep like saying like Jesus, Jesus,
Yeah,
Jesus,
Jesus,
because I'm just
Jesus.
scared of like
Yeah.
something like this happening.
Yeah.
But if you have sleep
Yeah.
paralysis, you can't do that. You
I
can't
know.
say anything.
Mm-mm. You can only move your eyes and think. I always sing, God is bigger than the
Boogeyman.
He's bigger than
Godzilla
Godzilla
or
or
the
the monsters on TV.
Oh.
I know, I always do
Oh
that one.
my
love that.
gosh.
Yeah. Kind of makes
Honestly,
it a
though,
little fun in the scary moment.
It is comforting to know though
Yeah.
that you're like, okay, if this is just my mind, literally, Lord, take captive of this because
Yeah.
I'm gonna think the worst thing possible, and I need you to intervene and please tell me that this is not reality.
Yeah.
That is
No
hard.
kidding. Yeah,
Um,
anyway. Thank you, Alex, for
yeah,
sharing your
thank you,
story.
Alex.
Yeah, thank you.
Wowza.
That's kind of crazy.
Okay, Keek, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't have a personal story, but this is one that I heard when I was little. It was kind of like a campfire story that kind of always stuck with me in like a weird way. And it wasn't like a hee hee ha ha, I can go to bed now. I like stayed up all night and was like, what the freak? So I'm going to share that. And then I'm going to share something that happened to me actually kind of recent that I think could fall in this category. But the one that I am going to like just read from is The Red-Eyed Girl. That's the name of it.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
if any of you have
Which
heard this
camp
one.
were you at when you heard this
Clearly
story?
not a Christian
Oh.
camp.
Well, no, it was probably a Mennonite camp. It probably was literally Highland Camp, like 20 minutes from my hometown. When like some random person who like never came back was like, I'm gonna tell you this story, and then
Yeah.
I like couldn't sleep at night. But okay, I just have it. I literally copied and pasted it so that I could read it and not ruin it. But this is the story of the red-eyed girl. Okay.
Okay.
A man just moved into an apartment and heads to the receptionist to get his keys. The receptionist gave him the key with a smile, but warns him not to disturb the door with no number on his floor. He wondered why, but didn't bother to ask. He was too busy with his new apartment to care. After he finished unpacking, he began to get curious. He questioned why the receptionist would warn him of such things, and so he stepped out of his apartment to check the door with no number. He tried the doorknob first, but it was locked, so instead he got on his knees and peeked through the keyhole. The apartment he was looking into was empty. He scanned the whole place before stopping at a woman standing face against a wall in the corner. He noticed her pale skin and long black hair before
Wait.
stepping
I'm
back.
gonna stop you for a sec. This is
Okay.
in the apartment with no numbers on it.
Like through
Yes.
the keyhole.
He looked through the keyhole. Okay.
He was curious,
Also,
so he was like,
why
"I'm
would you
gonna
tell
look
people
in."
not to look through a door? Because then they're gonna look through a
Bad.
door. That always makes me mad.
Yeah, I
Okay,
thought
anyway.
the same thing, but he got
Continue.
curious and he was like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna
As
look."
anyone would. Yep.
Yeah.
As anyone would. So the apartment he was looking at was empty. His eyes scanned the whole place before stopping at a woman standing face against a wall in a corner. He noticed her pale skin and long black hair before stepping back, suddenly feeling perverted in a way for invading someone else's privacy. So he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm clearly
I
looking at
should've
something I
watched
shouldn't."
Yeah. Like a
He
peeping
brushed it
Tom.
off,
Good thought. yeah.
assuming exactly.
No.
He brushed it off, assuming she was someone that did not want to be disturbed. The next day, he got more curious about the woman and eventually went back, straight away getting onto his knees. He peeked through the keyhole, but all he saw was red. He assumed that the pale woman must have like caught him peeking the last time, maybe like covered the hole with something red.
Okay.
He left the door alone and instead went down to the receptionist to ask questions. The receptionist sighed and asked, "You looked through the keyhole, didn't you?"
Mhm.
He admitted it, and so she felt obliged to tell him the story. She told him that a couple used to live in the apartment a long time ago, but the husband went crazy and killed his wife. However, The couple wasn't normal. They had pale skin, black hair, and red eyes. The end.
I hate to say it, but the name of the story gave it away.
I know. It
Because
did.
because clearly when you see
I
the red,
know.
it's like, oh, well, it's her looking,
It is
you know?
true. Maybe I shouldn't have said
No,
it.
that's not your fault. That's the
So
story's
literally he was
fault.
looking in and he was looking into the woman's
Into her
eyes.
eyeball.
Yeah.
Which that always like stuck with me. I'm like, that is disgusting. And I hate that. Their eyes were like,
Staring into each other.
yes.
Red rum.
Red eyes. Gross.
Yeah, bad.
But that one, I don't know. I stuck with me. But I do have one kind of to end it. A personal story that happened to me, honestly, a couple months ago. This is going to be one of those things you're like, you never told me. But no, I never did because it was traumatizing and
course.
scary.
Okay, well,
So-
I'm glad that you're telling us now. We're here
So
for
I
you.
thought, I'm going to save it for the podcast.
But yet we
So-
saw your like ghost pizzas that you made tonight in our group chat.
Correct. I did make ghost pizza with my boyfriend.
pizza?
And mine turned out cute. I thought his turned out like Squidward.
Still cute.
Still cute, but in a different way.
In a different way.
Yeah.
I said, thank you for your effort. I'm going to probably just post mine, but thank you.
That's so funny.
I said, thank you.
Yours isn't aesthetic enough, but I love the effort.
No.
Yep. Love the effort. Love
No.
you.
That's so funny.
But like, try harder next time.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Tell
Okay.
us.
Okay. So I'm going to try to tell it in like the dramatic type of way.
Because I love a dramatized story. I love a dramatized story.
I know. So
Don't spare a single detail.
to paint the picture,
Okay.
it was a chilly summer night. I was home alone. And to set the scene, I live with 3 other people. And all 3 of them have left for the night. So I knew all of them were gone. I think it was a Tuesday night. So let's say it's Tuesday night, home alone. I crank up that TV. I'm probably watching Grey's Anatomy because what else am I doing?
Yep.
Eating some pizza, drinking some wine. I'm probably 3 glasses deep at this point. No one's home.
Yeah.
And I know the last person that left recently was going to be gone for a while. Watching Grey's Anatomy, probably 2 cups deep. And I see these lights come up my 3. Who's to say?
You.
4, 5, maybe.
Both of them, if you can't see me, just pointed at 3.
Well, you said 3 glasses initially.
You said
and then
3, and then you went 2,
adjusted to
and then I was like, well, you said 3. So.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
3.
It's fine.
I see headlights come up my driveway. And I live in a cul-de-sac. I'm like in a neighborhood, super quaint. It's very safe, I would say. But I see these headlights come up my driveway. I figure it's probably one of my roommates. The headlights shut off, and someone is like trying to get in the side door. And it's not uncommon that one of my roommates, maybe like forgot their keys. So I'm like, okay, they're like trying to get in the house. And I'm like, okay, they'll figure it out eventually. So I don't even think anything of it. Honestly, I just still sit, watch Grey's, drink wine. I'm like, okay, they're going to figure it out. Meanwhile, I'm texting in our group chat. I say, are you guys okay? Like, who's trying to get in the house? Everyone responds, I'm not home. I'm not home. I'm not home. So all 3 roommates at this point all said they were not at the house. Naturally, start freaking out, go to worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Think someone is trying to break in the house.
Murder you.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and where I'm sitting on the couch, like our shades aren't very dark. So like if you go to like kind of the side of the shades, like you can kind of like see out. So where I'm sitting on the couch, I'm like trying not to move because I'm like, if I move, you can kind of like see outside of the front door or like the front window. So I'm just sitting. I definitely paused my show because I'm like, what's going to happen? Am I okay? So someone is trying to get in my side door, like literally like key in the door, rattling it. Nothing happens. And I'm texting everyone. No one's home. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit in my in my couch, and once I see the headlights go down the driveway, I'm gonna go freaking get a knife because I'm like, I don't want someone coming in the house that I don't know who it is. And eventually they do go down the driveway, the headlights go, and I have a Ring camera, and so I get to see what the color of the vehicle is, and it is a white van, which if you don't know anything about white freaking vans,
like a white van that's like
nothing
a
good
like a
comes from it.
carpenter's
Candy.
van, like not like a white like Toyota Sienna, like a
Like,
big.
come to my
correct.
van. I have candy
Correct.
for you.
Yeah.
Take your van.
Correct. Like
Okay,
coming to
okay.
the back of my van, kidnaps you, kills you. That's literally the kind of van that it was. So I thought even better to, dictate what narrative I have going on in my head. So I see it in the Ring, white van, and it drives towards the cul-de-sac, which is like to the right of my house. And there's like 2 other houses down there, one of which is my landlord. So naturally I'm like texting him. I just say, hey, just so you know, someone tried to get in my house and he's coming towards your house because it's like towards that way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also simultaneously texting my boyfriend like, hello, I think I'm gonna die. Please come over to my house because I need some protection.
Yeah.
Because Grey's Anatomy ain't doing it no more. I'm
Derek can't protect
terrified.
you. He's dead.
Derek did.
Derek dead.
Spoiler alert. It doesn't help me a lick of a bit. So I do go into the kitchen. I get a knife. I am literally ready, just in case. Text my landlord, and he says, "Oh my gosh, I told my friend the wrong address. That was my friend. I told him that my side door was open, and he was trying to get in your house." And you know what I thought in that moment?
Gosh.
F you!
Yeah.
Because imagine my side door would be open.
Totally. He just barged
And
right
your
in.
friend would just barge right in?
I know.
No.
I would
Scary,
think I would
scary,
be
scary.
dead, so-
Scary.
It just goes to show, like, you can never be too careful with locks, even if it is someone that you trust. And, in the end, it was like, he was like, LOL, so sorry. And I was like, you don't even know the
You don't
mental
know what it's
battles
like.
that I've
Yeah.
gone through in the
How long
last
was
30
this
minutes.
whole? Okay, it was a 30-minute ordeal.
Yeah, probably 30 minutes. So it was pretty
Okay.
quick, but naturally, seeing the van, hearing the door, and the car going away, I'm like, I'm gonna be dead in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Nope, just a friend of my landlord that lives next door to me, and so that was unfortunate.
We've talked about this
So-
before when we talked about our fears episode. Like,
Yeah.
being a woman in this world is just different. Like, the
It
level of fears that we have
is.
of strangers versus like what men have of
Yes.
strangers.
Totally.
And it's like necessary. Like, that's how we have to survive.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a protection mechanism.
Yeah.
for sure. Because if we just walked out like whatever, like everything's fine, it'd
Totally.
be super naive and very irresponsible.
Yeah.
Like even like I would say my town is super safe. I don't think anything really bad has ever happened in it. But Bryce and I were driving home from something. It was Sunday night and it was like 8:30, and we saw like multiple people on walks. And I'm like,
by themselves.
and it's dark. I think one
Like
person was by
solo?
themselves.
Yeah, so-
Then I saw like two girls, and then I saw another person like walking a dog or something. And I'm just like, I'm so surprised that these people are walking this late. But like, I'm happy for you that you feel comfortable. But I mean, I would
Yeah.
never. I would
Yeah.
never. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know if it's, even if you do live in a safe town, I just don't even know if you should.
I mean,
you never
even
know.
tonight when I went to the local Food Lion, LOL, which is a very like lit and like public place, I saw these like 2 guys that were like also checking out the pizza crust options. And in my head, I thought, you are trying to plot to kidnap me. And I
I
don't
had
know
that
why
same thought at
that's-
the grocery store yesterday.
Really?
Yes, there was some guy was
I
kept
don't
taking,
like that.
kept taking pictures of like the different soda options.
Oh.
And I
Oh.
like walked in between him and the soda, and I had this thought of like, what if that's a cover and he's like wanted to take a picture of me? You know?
Well, because I
Or
think
he's
we
trying
are
to
kind of
send
trained
pictures to his
think
wife
that.
because he couldn't remember what he was supposed to get. And
Which
so
that
she's
definitely
like,
is what it
That's
is,
probably,
or something like
yeah.
that. But and I can rationalize that in my head, be like, that's so egotistical, but still, like that is like our defense of like worst
Yeah.
case, stranger danger.
yeah.
Yeah. We just have to be on the lookout.
Yeah.
Well, Mary, do you want to bring down the mood? Maybe we'll bring it up. Maybe today you're bringing the mood up.
Oh,
You know what? I'd love
bring
to.
it down, bring it up, whatever you desire.
Bring it down, bring it up.
Matt brings down the mood.
Okay. I did think about, what if we do the one from yesterday today?
No, that's okay, because I think we already committed to putting on the story.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I saw this one on a reel and I thought it was kind of funny, so I cannot take credit for this one.
Okay.
If you had to be in a horse costume with a celebrity, what celebrity would it be? And would you be the front or the back?
In a horse?
In a horse costume.
Okay.
Costume?
Do you know, can you
Okay.
picture the horse costume that I'm thinking of? There's someone's in the front and someone's in the back. Okay.
Yes.
So that's one.
Okay.
What is the most embarrassing fashion trend you used to follow? And we're like a diehard for.
I mean, I have one
like
that comes
that
to
one.
mind.
I would love to know yours, Kira, even though I already know them, but I would love to know them more.
I mean, okay, I think this is the one that we're going to have to do for
Okay,
this episode,
I love it.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But something that I think I used to die on this hill would be the high mid-calf boot with the 2-inch sock above it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like the boot is there and then the sock and then the infinity scarf.
But the sock
it's like
was like
that
just,
combination.
It wasn't even really a sock, right? It was like this
Correct.
this thing that was like just on your calf.
It's more like I feel like back in the 80s they had this. I
They were
don't
like
even
leg
know.
warmers. They were like
Yeah.
leg warmers.
Pretty much
Yeah.
leg warmers, not even socks. But it was that in combination with the infinity scarf. Like, I think I was a diehard on that scarf. I was like, there ain't no way I'm getting that. That
Yeah.
like the tassels are down here. I want that looped around my freaking neck.
Yeah. I want someone to be able to
Um,
strangle me with this thing.
So
Yeah. Thinking about it now, I'm like, why? But I loved that.
Yeah.
I used to love that in like 2013 to 2018, probably a good couple years. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Infinity scarves were everything, though. Like,
They were
in your
everything.
defense. So mine is going to be more in the late 2000s, early 2010s, where everyone was wearing Aeropostale shirts with a cami that was lace underneath it.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Come on now. And
Oh, yeah.
with a mini skirt and leggings with
Oh.
lace at the bottom of your leggings.
Yes.
So you had lace in your cami and you had lace on your leggings.
Yep.
And
Top
it
and
wasn't
bottom.
and it wasn't
I know
enough.
exactly what you mean. We're
It
going to
wasn't
all
enough.
find a photo of us collectively
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
post that because I'm there.
Yes. And like the more layers you could get under your t-shirt, the better. Like I needed the shirt to be so tight. And I
why
needed
was the lace
2 or 3.
always the option?
I don't know.
And
but
the
it
lace
also
would
needed
also
to be
stick
pulled
out
long.
from under the shirt too. Like you had lace cami that was like up top, but I had some that had lace at the bottom too.
Oh,
and
I was only
wanted it
talking
to
about the
stick out.
bottom. I was only talking about the bottom sticking
No,
out.
I meant like you have the V-neck Aeropostale shirt, and then it
Okay.
has a lace cami at the top, and
Oh.
then under where the shirt hem
Sure.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was kind of thinking like the swoop neck arrow shirts.
Oh,
swoop
sure,
neck
okay.
Arrow. And then with like a white t-shirt underneath and then another lace cami underneath that type
Yeah,
of
wow.
situation. And so it's like super
Oh,
tight and there's a ton
no.
of layers. And then it's like super tight to your skirt with the leggings. I think
Yeah.
someone who did this look very well was Ashley Tisdale.
Mm.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
Throwing it back to the Sweet Life and Zach and Cody, like her outfits on there were just spectacular. I know she
Oh,
wore
yeah.
like the same thing all the time, but
It was a
and
girl next
I-
door look.
yes.
It
and
was.
I loved that lace look, which is so funny because I don't even like lace. Like, I don't even, it's so funny to me, but I loved that look. And I had a t-shirt, I guess it wasn't mine, but it was my sister Carlene's, and it said, "Jesus is my homeboy."
Oh,
Stop.
And
I love
would wear
that.
with
Please.
layers. And then we also had a shirt. It was hers, but I steal it. Mary is my homegirl.
I like that.
Yeah. So those were the best. So I like to wear those every once in a while. But I try not to wear them too much because it was kind of a statement shirt and I didn't want to be like, too crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's more of an everyday look.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I do see a trend that is coming back around. I wouldn't say it's the t-shirt to lace cami underneath, but I've seen girls do like a really like big oversized graphic tee where like you could do a tall boot with it, like it looks like a dress, but you wear a lace like skirt underneath. So it's like the big baggy tee and then a lace skirt underneath. So it like adds a little dimension. And you know what's funny? I think lace truly never goes out of style because
it doesn't. It doesn't.
It was in the cami phase, but now I haven't tried that out yet, but I have seen girls do it where they're out, like maybe country concert or like, especially like if it's like warmer where you live and you just want to wear a t-shirt and like cowboy boots or something, but they're wearing like the skirt underneath that like kind of like adds a little bit to it. I'm like, that reminds me of kind of like that era that you were talking about.
Yeah.
But
So
how funny. That's like coming back
It's like
around.
a little different take, but same elements. Same
exactly.
textures and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Mare? I'd love to know your fashion things
Totally.
as well because you were funny.
Well,
Exactly.
We've talked about fashion before a little bit. Like we've talked about the Bermuda shorts, we've talked about the Converse, the vibrant.
Oh, yeah.
I was in I had so many different phases. I was really into like big, vibrant, bold colors where like I would wear, I was into like the colored skinny jeans. I had a sky blue pair of skinny jeans.
Oh, yeah.
And this was a staple Meredith outfit in 7th grade. Sky blue skinny jeans. I had this gray, like 3/4 length sleeve V-neck shirt.
Oh my gosh.
That had
I'm
rainbow
envisioning it.
colored
Yep.
peace signs all over it.
Okay, yeah.
What?
Yep.
I see
Okay,
it.
that's
Rainbow colored peace signs all
another
over it.
level.
And I would wear that with those blue pants with like a different color, like neon cami underneath it, like pink or green or yellow but it like nothing like there was with that. I guess there was gray with that shirt, so there was something to kind of ground it. And then with my orange Converse that had zebra laces,
right.
Everything was zebra,
which is now
at that
like
time.
now my wardrobe is so muted. It's absurd to think about like that I was
Patterns.
so bold. Like my sister used to call me an Easter egg. Like I would walk downstairs every day and her and my mom would try to convince me to change because my outfits were just so overly colorful and I had like big peace sign earrings. I was like really into that.
So funny.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably my most iconic one. I had a couple different phases. I was really into arm knitting. So I would arm knit a bunch of
No,
scarves.
you weren't.
Yes,
No.
I was. I have
I
them.
wear the scarves.
I actually see
wouldn't
that
you?
for you.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely.
No, I brought them to Heston. There's tons of pictures of us together with me wearing my arm knit scarves. Yeah. Yeah.
I see that visually.
I went through a watch phase where I was into watches. I went through a
I did
pantyhose
too.
phase where I would wear
Yeah, I did
pantyhose
do that.
underneath skirts with my arm knit scarf and my watch.
I
Do you know
actually
that,
just
like-
thought of another phase for myself that
Tell us.
if you remember me in this era, I was super into it. So, the shoes, I was really into the shoes, high tops, and they were called specifically pastries. It was
I
a brand.
don't remember that.
Like if you know
What?
it,
Look it up.
you know it. So it was
Like in
Run-
college?
Pastries?
no pastries. This was in like middle school, like
Okay.
high
This is
school
shoe
kind of
brand.
pastries, and
Like
they yes. Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
That-
I'll
no.
That
I'll see if I
fits.
still have a picture of me and my pastries, but it was like the tongue on the shoe was outrageous. The colors were obnoxious and like out of this world. And the last pair that I ever bought was like an all denim pair. And
Okay.
my dad actually, when he was younger, he was really into shoelaces and like doing really cool patterns. So he patterned my shoes in a really sick lace pattern. Like it was so dope.
Stop.
And I loved these shoes and I wore them all the time. I had like 3 pairs. And I think it was like Run DMC, like somebody in Run DMC, like their daughter's shoe line. And I heard of it because I was watching that show on MTV. I think, what was that show? It was like Run's why can't I think of it? But he would always sit in the bathtub at the end of the night and like tweet something or like just have some like thought provoke. Like someone is listening and they're like, oh my gosh, I totally know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know the show.
But
Run's house.
Yes, Run's house. Thank you, Run's house.
Run's house.
And so his daughters were talking about their shoe line on there, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. So I looked it up, and I loved the shoes, and I would wear them all the time. They were like intense, and I couldn't get enough.
Sounds great.
I think I bought 3 pairs.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Do you still have the pairs?
No, I
Dang it.
I
you ever
remember
think
it.
that, like-
It kind of was like a joke though. Afterwards, like my mom, like I
Sure.
still had them at home, and then my mom like took a picture of me like after I like moved out from college, and she like took a picture of one of the shoes and was like, "Do you want me to still keep these?" I was like, "Oh my gosh,
Please burn 'em.
no, please get them."
They're
out of
gonna
my
come back though.
site. I know they probably will. I don't know if she still has them though, but yeah,
Everything comes back.
pastries. They really do.
I'm waiting for
I
stirrup
never
pants
had
to come
those.
back.
I'm waiting for gauchos
Gauchos.
I do
you
not
remember
want gauchos to
gauchos?
come back.
and
I do.
Sperry's.
Gauchos was also during the time of like brown and teal where that matched. I had a
Yes.
brown
Oh.
pair of
Yeah.
gauchos
Oh
that
my
I would wear with
gosh.
a
I had a
brown
brown
and teal
pair
striped
too.
shirt.
Yes,
and
me
I'd wear them with
too.
brown Old Navy flip flops, and I thought I looked so
Oh my
good.
God.
The like dollar Old Navy flip flops.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. Or I had a
Oh
pair that
my
were
gosh.
wedge flip flops too, and
Oh,
I thought
come
that
on.
I was
Those were the fancy ones.
You
Whenever
were
you had a
cool.
wedge flip flop on, like
You
you
were
were going
cool.
someplace
Yes.
nice.
Yeah, I was.
I
cool.
didn't have that.
It's still a flip flop.
I still felt,
And they were
actually
louder.
because it chunks. Oh
They're
yeah, clunk,
louder.
clunk, clunk.
Yes.
Totally.
Like that snap from
my
floor to foot.
gosh.
Yeah.
But do you know what is coming back? And I actually recently found them in a Goodwill. Is the potato shoes? The like kind of like slide. I called them the potato shoes, but they're like the slide on like
Are they like jellies?
clog things,
So clogs.
like the Birkenstocks.
So clogs.
but not clogs. They don't
Oh.
have like a heel.
No, clogs
I
don't
know,
have
that's
heels.
what
they don't have a
Clogs
heel.
don't have heels.
I totally
they
know what
don't?
you mean. They're clogs.
Like the
yeah.
Uggs? Like
the
the Ugg slides?
Birkenstock. Almost.
Yes, yes. Those are back in, and I like
those are in.
I like those. Yeah.
Those
But,
have
like,
been
I
in a
had
minute.
those
like
in
the
like fourth
Birkenstock
grade.
Bostons,
Yeah.
or not Boston? Are they
Yes.
Bostons?
It sounds right actually.
Is a potato shoe like? I kind of want to go back to that for a second. Like,
Okay,
did you make that up like right
Yeah,
now
these.
or?
No, those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
those are
not make
in
them
key.
up, but that was just what we called them.
Like
Potato
who's we?
shoes.
Like I need to know who we is though. That's what
we
I'm
is the
wondering.
East Coast.
Really?
I was East
I'm gonna
Coast.
put them on.
No, I was
on
East
us.
Coast,
No,
and I didn't call them potato shoes. I called them my clogs.
really?
Yeah, we call
them
Because I think of
clogs.
clogs. And
I will
think of
say I
something
had
else.
off-brand because no way we could afford $140.
I'm gonna look
shoes.
up what clogs.
Okay, well,
are,
we're
and
doing
I'll
a
show you
poll.
what
We're
those
going to
are.
do a poll on our story. Do you call these clogs or potatoes? I guarantee you don't call
I
them potatoes, but
guarantee you,
apparently
maybe
all of
Harrisonburg,
East Coast
Virginia
with
people.
gear.
I said that. Don't know if that's accurate, but I'm gonna stick to
Maybe
it. We're
just
gonna
the
find out.
Betger family called them potato shoes.
Maybe that's what I'm kind of thinking.
A very high probability. Didn't want to go there, but
However,
yeah,
the poll
very
will
high
still
probability.
the poll will still pull.
Yeah,
We'll see if anyone agrees.
The poll
with you.
will
the poll
still
will
pull.
pull.
If you know what I mean, clogs, potato shoes.
Yeah.
If you're out there, a very very late millennial, you'll know.
I had a pair, just the classic that you would think of, and I thought I was really cute because I tied a little bow with like a piece of pink string on
Oh,
them.
you're
And one of my
different.
teachers,
Wow.
one of my teachers was like, "Hey, good attention to detail. Like that's cute." And I was
Oh
like,
And that
my
stuck
word.
with you.
"Yeah, it stuck with me."
And obviously, you've never stopped thinking about it.
Clearly,
Every day
I
she
really
wakes
wanted
up,
that teacher's
"Good, you know what?
validation.
She's
Good
right.
attention to detail.
I do have really good attention to detail.
Yeah.
She's right.
Yeah.
I'm
You know,
undervalued.
it goes to
around
prove
here.
that your teachers are your biggest advocates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually didn't like me though, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. So maybe
He actually
not.
yelled at me. So it's
Oh.
fine. One time I
Please.
corrected him during class, and then he kept me after class to tell me, "Now I'm
Ooh.
fine with you correcting me, but some people in this world will not like you correcting them, so just don't do that." And I was like, "Ugh, well, clearly
that's
you
actually
didn't like
probably.
that."
Oh, I was gonna say that's probably a good thing. I probably needed to hear that because I was
I
always
mean,
like,
like,
you didn't say
Oh.
that though. Like I remember exactly what you said. And you did not
you
say
didn't
that.
say
In
that.
my mind, no.
But knowing him, I was like,
Maybe it
no,
depends
he
on the
definitely didn't
child.
like it. Yeah.
He probably didn't like it. And yeah.
So anyways.
Well, anyway, I hope you feel less
Interesting.
scared at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And you've
I think they
enjoyed
will.
your time with us. We've enjoyed our time with you. If you like spending time with us and you listen to our podcast on the reg, like, leave us a review. We'd love to know what you think, and feel free to rate. You know, it's 1 through 5, so you choose whatever you think is fair, and like, don't feel like you have to do
choose
5.
Oh, okay.
But again, don't feel like you have to. Like, if that's where you, like, is that where your heart lies? Like,
5.
go ahead.
5.
And then, hey, don't forget, our DMs are always open. It's been Forever Podcast on Instagram, and then we got our first email.
We did.
And we're gonna
Shout
give you a
out.
shout out,
You know
Kyle
who you are.
Cleveringa.
We love you.
Ayo!
Did you
Shout
just
out,
write
Kyle.
it because you
We'll
kind of
collab
felt bad
soon.
for us because nobody emails us? Maybe.
Yes.
Did we
So
appreciate
this is
it?
your sign.
Absolutely.
Please email us.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's it's been foreverpod@gmail.com if you want to
Yes.
email us. Feel free. We'd love to hear from you.
Please do.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much. This was really fun, and
Yeah.
we'll see you on Kiara's birthday.
Whoop whoop.
Ayo.
See you next
Bye.
week.
We
Happy
love you.
November,
See you
you
next
guys.
week. Yeah. Bye.
We love you. Bye.